Hello. We have to do our opening ceremony now. All right. We're good. Hello. Welcome to our Wednesday together. So we can come together and find some stillness and peace today. Bring ourselves from our Zoom calls. Bring ourselves from our meetings, from our reading, from our emails, from our texts, from our Instagram, from our Facebook, from our tweets, to a time when we exist for the now. And we think about what's going on inside of our bodies for a moment. And one way to think of it is how we are reacting to our day, how our day has affected us physically and emotionally. And bringing ourselves to a place into the evening so that we can have a more peaceful evening and have more restful sleep. Wouldn't it be wonderful if this could accomplish all of that? But I think that it does take us from our day into the evening in a beautiful, peaceful, still way. So we've been talking about this moment at the Sea of Reeds, and we're going to continue the tradition. Well, it's a 3-day-old tradition, but still, of thinking about some of the kind of side stories about this moment when the Israelites are freed. And it's interesting to me. The first one, right, was about these two guys who missed it. Yesterday's was about having the courage to leap and to go and do what you need to do. Today's about way on the other side. And when we've gotten to that point, when we've won. And what do we do when we win? Miriam takes out her timbrel. The women dance with her, and they begin to sing and rejoice. And all of the Israelites also join in and sing and rejoice and dance and are so happy that they've lived and they made it through. And so the Midrash continues to say that on high, right, the angels were also singing and dancing and being incredibly joyous. And then God looks at them and God says, "Why are you celebrating? My children are dying." Of course, speaking about the Egyptians who are dying in the Sea of Reeds because God made the sea topple down on top of them. Mercy, chesed, loving kindness, treating every human being as the same. I think these are some of the messages that Midrash tries to tell us. Is our victory is wonderful, but if it comes at the expense of a life, then it lessens our joy. It lessens how much we really should be rejoicing. I can't help but think of what happened, I think it was 2 weeks ago today. I can't help but think that afterward, the people who went into, who accomplished their goals of insurrection were cheering and so happy with what they did, while 5 people's lives were lost. And that juxtaposition is just too difficult for me to wrap my head around. And I just always feel that there is room to love, and there is room, even if someone has done something, that doesn't mean their life should be taken from them. And that life itself has such value that we need to honor that. And I think that's what God's saying in this midrash. Saying, you know what, it's nice for them to be glad that they've escaped their slavery. But it's not right for us to be cheering that their enemies were completely destroyed. And when you think about it, how we cheer on the people that we want and many times don't think about the person who lost, or once a person loses, we don't even care about them. I've heard that said many times, nobody even remembers who came in second place in half of the events that happen in our world. No one remembers who lost the World Series. They only remember who won. And that we have a problem with that we only think about the victors and we don't think about anybody else but them. And it's time for us to start looking at everybody, the people that are on top and the people that are way on the bottom, and to start to treat everybody with that worth of life. I think that's what this midrash is. Life has meaning and worth, and any life that is taken is not something to rejoice about. Now, a person can win without another person losing their life, but in this particular case, it really was life and death for the Egyptians. It was also life and death for the Israelites. But that God would tell the angels not to cheer because the Egyptians' lives are worth the same as the Israelite lives. That's important for us to take note of. That every life is worth the same. Now, that being said, there may be actions that a person does to hurt somebody else, or to kill somebody else, or to cause pain to somebody else. And that person needs to pay for it in a way that is equal to their actions. Sometimes over history that has meant that they give up their right to live on this planet. But I think for the purposes of this of this midrash, I mean, the fact is the Egyptians were the enemies of the Israelites in that particular moment, especially that had been abused for 400 years by the Egyptians. So certainly the Israelites had no reason not to cheer, right? They are free. But were they cheering because they were free? Or were they cheering because the Egyptians were dying and the Egyptians were gone? And if you look at the text, there's a little bit of each of it actually in there. It's saying, oh my God, God, you are the greatest thing ever because of what you've done for us. And it says, look how the Egyptians are drowning in the sea. So in the biblical tale, obviously, there is a little bit of this, that the human beings are joyful. But when you look at it from God's point of view, or the angels' point of view, who look at the world, they look down on the world, right, in the myths of our midrash, and they're looking from the outside. And when you do that way, all human beings should be and are the same. We're just people, just from different regions of this world. So I think as we go through our lives and we think about the people that we've wished ill will towards, that maybe we need to have a little bit of mercy, a little rachmanis, or a little bit of love, a little chesed and love and kindness that is given to these people. Even if they're not our favorite people, even if they're not our number one choices for friends, that all human beings deserve the same respect. I think it's an apparent lesson, but one that I think we need to be reminded of every once in a while. That was close. Let's get into a good meditative position. We're going to be thinking about our breath and noticing our breath. There's my yawn to get things going. Okay. Just a regular breath. We're not trying to push it. Remember that we're just allowing things to be as they are for now, for these 20 or so minutes we have left. Just allow the flow of life to go through your body. See how the air feels coming in and out of your body. See if you're holding any tension anywhere. Each time we breathe out, we can think of it as a relaxing of the body, a relaxing of the mind. A refreshing. Of course, it's natural that our mind would come in to take us away from our breath. Just bring yourself back in loving kindness. In chesed, without judgment, bring yourself back to your breath. In our remaining 4 or 5 minutes together, we end with feelings that we'd like to come upon us. On Wednesday, we ask for light and love. We say or ask, may I feel luminous. May I feel loved. And in this way we ask for light to shine forth from us, like an inner light that permeates the world around us. And love, we ask to be loved, and we ask to be able to love. So interchangeable: loved, love, luminous and loved, love and luminescence. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. And just keep asking yourself that from breath to breath. You can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. If you'd like to invite somebody in your mind's eye to stand with you, or next to you, or in front of you, and you could offer it to them. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. And then you can bring it back to yourself for the last bit of this section. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous and loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous and loved. And for our last moments together, let's just bring ourselves into this moment. Our breath filling our body. And we finalize on our breath. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I hope that during this time you were able to find a little peace, a little stillness. May you feel luminous, and may you feel loved, and may you have a beautiful, beautiful evening. Good night.